Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to share my recipe for chocolate burfi Fiji style with you guys. This recipe is so delicious. If you have a chocolate lover in your family, do give this recipe a try. They're gonna absolutely love it. This is just like my burfi recipe, so we're gonna need dry milk. I'm using Rewa, but you can use any brand you like. You're gonna also need some cocoa powder. I recommend using the best quality cocoa powder you can find. Because this is what gives it that chocolate taste. We're gonna need some liquid milk here. I'm using regular milk, but you can use half and half or double cream or whipping cream. We're gonna also need some ghee, some sugar for the syrup, and some water for the syrup. And for the top, we're gonna use some sprinkles. I'm using hundreds and thousands. So I like to start off by putting the sugar and the water in a saucepan and putting it on low flame. So everything gets dissolved while I'm mixing the milk powder and getting all that done. So for the Barfi mixture, we're going to take the milk powder, and then this is just like my Fiji Barfi recipe. So if you want more details, I recommend going to that video. I will link it down below. But essentially what I do is I take the liquid milk and I take the ghee and I put it into the milk powder, and then I mix it really well. Eventually you'll see me going in with my hands and just rubbing it in between my hands and between my fingers to get everything very well distributed. You want it to look flutter like this, so it's nice and the texture of sand. Next, we're gonna go in and sift in our cocoa powder. I recommend sifting the cocoa powder because it does have a lot of lumps in it. Almost all cocoa powder does. So sift it in, and then we're gonna actually throw this in a blender. You can do two things, one of two things. Either you can throw it in a blender and just whiz it up and get all those little lumps broken up, as you can see here, or you can use a little strainer and sift that. It just takes a little bit longer that way. You want your mixture to be well incorporated. Now we're gonna move on to the sugar syrup. So at this point, I turned my heat up higher. The syrup has warmed through really well and it is starting to get thicker, but as you turn the flame up to medium high, it's gonna start bubbling up really quickly. Now from start to finish, if you don't have it on low, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It should start bubbling really frothy like this, and then it should be able to create a thread. If you want more details, I recommend going and watching my original Barfi recipe. I share more details in there. Now we're gonna go in and start adding in the syrup a little bit at a time. As always, as all my Barfis, you don't want to add in all the syrup at once because it might be too much syrup. Who knows what the milk feels like that day. But I added a little bit at a time. For this particular recipe, the amount, I ended up using all of my syrup. So that turned out good, but sometimes it's not the case. Once you have everything mixed together really well, you don't have to be in a rush. It's not going to start solidifying in the pan, so don't worry. Mix it really well and then pour it into a parchment lined baking dish, and then press it down, make sure it's leveled and then it's compacted, and then you add in your decorations if you're adding them, and then pat that down so that gets adhered to the Barfi. Now I recommend after 15 minutes scoring your Barfi and making sure that you cut it in while it's still a little warm. I did not do that, but it did cut fine, and my camera ended up dying right when I was cutting the Barfi, so I'm sorry I couldn't share that footage with you guys. But if you have difficulty, I recommend using a clean knife and a warm knife, and that should cut right through without any problems. So there it is. There's my chocolate Barfi Fiji style. So delicious, so decadent. Definitely make this for this festive season coming up. And if you do give it a try, let me know. Do visit my Barfi recipe, link down below if you want more details. And until next time, you guys, take care, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.